For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Telling you guys a bit of review on a brand new caravan awning from Vango. This here is the Vango Tuscany. So the Tuscany is an inflatable awning and it's brand new for the 2020 season. It kind of takes over from the Vango Calari in terms of the shape, style and certainly sizes as well. But the main thing I'd probably say that the Tuscany is maybe slightly better value. So what we've got in terms of the 380 and the 420, I think it looks sharper. There's more features included in the model as well, and generally it's going to be a little bit more robust going forward. Very easy to pitch this model up because it's inflatable. I pitched this own model up on my own in the best part of 10 minutes. You can check out our own Attwoolls pitching and packing videos of myself doing that. And yet again, it takes me no longer sort of 6 minutes to pack it away. So it's very quick and easy. Brilliant for sort of touring or you're staying for a little bit longer. You also got that flexibility as well. It's not going to take you a good hour and a half to put the awning up itself. Generally what you also see is that it uses Vango's new fabric. So this is their kind of sort of the elegance fabric. And it's really quite smart, great sort of handle, sort of Tuscany kind of feel to it a bit. And what you can also see is actually it's got a really nice UPF rating. So again, you've got that extra protection against the sun. All of the storm straps, as you can see, are included, which means as as you see it, it's pretty much ideal as you want to go for it. And generally, you've got almost like this kind of 50p piece front, almost like a bay window, if you will. And that gives you extra depth than you normally would find. So you've got a 3.2 meter depth, and then obviously the width depends on which model you go for, whether it be the 380 or the 420 as well. One thing to mention on the 380 at least anyway is the two front panels sort of that face outwards removable. The middle panel, which we can see here, is a solid window panel, but when you move to the 420 model, that then becomes a door as well. So it really comes down to how much width you go. Personally, I probably feel the 380s maybe, it's about £100 difference between the models. I think for £100, that extra bit of width, unless you want that extra bit of space, it works really well. But alternatively, I think the 380 is probably a better value for money, shall we say. You've also got things like obviously the doors on the side which can be removable, so not only can the two side doors but the front panels can be removable, which also helps to reduce the weight when sliding into the rail. Just any three little helps, and if need be, if you want to store it in two separate bags to make it a bit more manageable, you can do. One thing that Vango certainly do in comparison to sort of other brands on the market is probably give you all of the extras included. The only thing you really need to think about buying separately would be things like a bespoke breathable ground sheet or carpet, then things like little roof linings or lighting inside. But one thing that does make this quite different as well is not only is it great in terms of size, shape and specifications, but also we are included the front mesh panels. So two mesh panels either side are included in the price of the awning as well, which means that you can create a kind of very veranda kind of style like this. So you can zip down the front door and give you a bit of flexibility, pop that over. You've got a full mesh panel in there as well, so it means you can have a circulation of air without having to worry about it being too warm on the inside as well. Each beam is done individually, so you've got 4 externally and then 6 small little bracer beams that go into the roof, as seen from our own pitching video. And if need be, we've also got a tutorial video about how to push this kind of awning up. We use the Calari, so same kind of model but previous years, explaining all of that. A really nice big oversized bag helps you get it back into the bag when you need to, and we always know that's a bit of a nightmare. But it's like almost like a duffel style bag, so it opens up wide open mouths, so again you're not trying to cram it in like a stuff sack. There is an offset door which we'll certainly see in a second, but that gives you the benefit of having a nice big window panel and a small back entrance way if you wanted to as well. And again, these small little things that the spec wise this is pretty impressive, like a PVC sort of mud skirt and a bottom layer really helps it. But let's talk through a few more features about the Tuscany as we head inside and have a good look. So now inside the awning, kind of get firstly a bit more of an idea for the sheer amount of space you've got in here. That extra sort of bit of depth really does make a massive bit of help, especially when you want to sort of come out of the caravan door, for example, and you've got a step there, you've got your furniture, you're not sort of rolling out of there and finding yourself on top of everything. So that works really quite nicely. The option of having obviously the 380 or the 420 width really does mean that you can make it work to your model, so you can avoid, say, the front window like we have here and just surpass the back window. So you've got a bit more flexibility when it comes to that. A slightly lighter fabric really helps to make it feel quite, fresh and well, a nice pleasant place to be in here. It's quite an open area, but then you've got the privacy when you want to as well. So every single panel, when you've got a beautiful clear PVC window like you see, you've also got a curtain located here. Now the curtains can be put into different scenarios, so you have got a zip running through in the middle, which allows you to create this kind of traditional kind of homely look, but then if you wanted to, you've also got the ability, you can get a much more thorough way of getting away your element of privacy, and a slight pattern really helps to bring it out quite nicely. Alternatively, if you wanted to sort of have a little bit of privacy, there's zip runners running on the side like so. So you can bring it down, push that over, and then create a bit more privacy but allow a bit more light. Or alternatively, fold that down. There's a little storage pocket located right at the bottom, so you can just roll it away. And there's just some little toggles there just to kind of keep it at bay. But for the time being, what I'll do is I'll just get my privacy, as you can see. So as we saw from the outside, there's two mesh panels which are included for the front door, which I think great for circulation, and with the sort of extra zip runners you've got on those panels, you can create like a little veranda. There is also the zip panels the extra zips on the actual panel itself. So if you wanted to, you could create a same kind of idea with the mesh, and there's a separate zip located, which means you have the main panel at the same time as the mesh panel. On the zips itself, across the whole of the awning, is quite an oversized moulded tuff, which just kind of means to be a bit more durable and take a bit more battering, especially not necessarily when you first get it, but over the years, it's just going to be that much more rugged. The one thing you can see certainly is the sheer amount of interior height. I mean, I'm about 6'2", and right at the front here, that towers above me quite happily, and that really helps you, again, not only have that little bit extra depth, but overall to make it feel bigger across the whole awning, just makes it feel like a larger room. So it's the same kind of floor space as it was previously with the Kalari, but that certainly more upright front really just means you put your sort of furniture closer to the edge, creating more room by the sort of the Caravan step as well. The bracer beams, you can see, just simply Velcro in and out. They've got their own individual valve on there, and as per our video, you just pop them in once you've got kind of the awning up to give it more stability. That way, because they're already pre-isolated and such, if you ever did have an issue, God forbid, you can just unzip the actual sort of sleeve that sits in the awning, and you get to the actual beam itself. And then in there is a bladder which you can patch or replace as and when you need to, or if you want to carry spare tubes as just an extra precaution, you can do so. The side panels, like I said, can be completely removed, and you can actually add annexes onto either side you want to accommodate extra people without taking up in the main living area. There are clips located at the top here to house an extra inner bedroom inside of it if you wanted to. Personally, I feel it's better off getting an annex and utilising your living area as and when you want. As we talked about on the outside, the door is kind of a 60-40%, so you've got 60% window and then a 40% door. So by that way, you have a bit more better clarity with looking out onto the campsite, and then a smaller door which you can use as and when. The door, as we can see here, is twinned up with a mesh panel, so you can have that little bit more flow of air and help with sort of condensation, as well as a really nice big vent panel up the top in the corner. And because the awning's got little wings on the corner, you get how that circulation without the water and rain coming in. But still, the mesh panel has curtains as well as the rest of it, so it sort of all blends in nicely with that lovely pattern. A feature that Vango sort of introduced into 2019 and carries forward is their Dss System, so draft seal system. And all it is basically is, rather getting away with the rear poles, tucked behind this very sort of little flap here, is a nice big foam pad, and this sort of webbing strap here goes into the awning rail, it's like so, and then you've got almost like a ratchet, so you push that down, and that pushes the foam pad hard against the Caravan, which gives you the opportunity that if you had a window, for example, you can actually position the pressure points sort of above the window, beneath the window, and on the window, as seen from our own independent video on that little mechanism. But I thought I'd just show you that's while we're in the awning itself. Yeah, again, one of the things you do get supplied with these are not only do you get like the mesh panels included, you also get a draft skirt included, which has a really nice mesh in it, wheel arch covers, all the storm struts to go with it, the pumps, the bracer beams, you know, rock pegs, you get a mallet. So there's quite a lot of sort of optional extras that would normally be optional, which are included, which again help to make this even better value than previously. Other thing to mention, which is quite unique to Vango as well, is their Skytrack system. So their Skytrack system is a little bit of beading stitched into the side, and it means you can have things like a hanging point for a lantern, or alternatively like the internal roof liners or sky liners, as they're known with Vango, just to give that little bit more of a double glazing effect to help with condensation, but also a bit more of a thermal barrier. The skyliners would also mean that these beautiful sky windows get, you've got the option to cover up as and when you want to, if you're in a sort of hotter climate and just want to have a little bit of edge off the heat. Alternatively, you can let the sun come in like today with the curtains, still have your privacy as well. There's an array of sort of flexible lighting as well as solid lightings that Vango do in their Sunbeam collection, but you can check out those videos as and when you want to. More information about the actual awning itself as well, check in our link below, will take us to our webpage telling us all our latest deals and prices on this particular awning as well. But overall, I think it's going to be a really popular model for the 2020 season going forward. Great size, looks really great. You've got good specification across it as well, and I think it's a bit more usable, user-friendly and a little bit lighter in terms of the pack weight than the Kalari was as well. So I think it's a good improvement moving forward to the 2020 collection. But so that's our Attwoolls Outdoors video review on the Tuscany 318 and 420 from Vango.